see the
another one.
thumbnail. There's really no, no need to go too deep into the intro of the video, guys. This is something that we've been wanting to kind of get on for a while now, cousin. I'm kind of hearing a little bit of back noise. I'm hearing myself echo.
Is the echo?
There you go.
All right. Does it sound better?
Yep, that's a lot better
Okay.
for sure. Here, let me turn off. All right, cool. So,
And then
like I
can you
was
close that
saying,
door?
guys, this is a video that we've been wanting to get into for a while, and now that I think Antonio Pierce has had a few good games underneath his belt, it's time to start talking about this. This is going to be some real life stuff that the Raiders are going to have to deal with in the future, and what other person than to talk to about this than one of the biggest Raider fans that I know. I'm still hearing it a little bit, cousin, but
I might, I might have to just take this out. It's just
yeah,
hard to
I
hear you.
but like I said, man, one of the biggest Raider fans that I know is my cousin Dyson. So, without that, with that being said, um, I look at it like this, cousin. The Raiders, in my opinion, have a chance to do something special with their next head coach. Antonio Pierce is a guy he's from within. He's a Raider. He bleeds the Raiders. He's been there, man, and I think he has the locker room right now. And I just think, like we were talking about this the other day, when you got a coach that's willing to be able to come in there, get the locker room, and have some of those gritty wins, man. He showed right there in that last one against Kansas City that he was not going to lose his identity. He's going to stick to himself, and he went out there and got them a key win, man. And you said a key tidbit about a guy that was injured, and I'll let you tell the story on your team, and that let me know a lot about the players are playing for Antonio Pierce. But then we have these veteran coaches that are out there, Eric Bieniemy, Bill Belichick, and our last one was Jim Harbaugh. So, a lot of Raider fans see that as experience and said, hey, these guys have a system. They know how to win. Antonio may not have as much experience, but some of these other guys may not know how to coach these men and really know how to be a people's coach. So, what do you think about the whole situation?
Well, first I'll start off with just, congratulating Antonio Pierce because it's hard to win in Kansas City the way he did. It's hard to win in the NFL period. So for you to just get jumped in and you really didn't get to put your regime in play,
close your door,
and you're
guys.
still able to get the team to rally behind you, and you're just basically picking up the scraps, that speaks volumes. The fact that this is your second year there, so you've been a part of the defense, and you're able to you and Patrick Graham got that rapport. That's also great. But I do also look at experience. I want him to get the job. Me personally, I feel Antonio Pierce has won the job for me personally as a fan. But then I know it's you got to be objective, and you also got to do your homework and your due diligence. One thing about the Raiders is that we get caught up in the hype and the glitz and the glam of everything. It could be that we are getting caught up again, but it still might work out. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I'm just a huge fan of is a coach that shows his players immediately I care. One thing, Antonio Pierce, he doesn't just wait for the press interview. He doesn't sit back and no, something's happening. Just like when him and last week Jack Jones was chirping, Antonio Pierce walked out on the field, grabbed him by his neck, and was in his ear and whisper, whisper, whisper. I like that. He's looking at him, and Andy Reid did the exact same thing. Andy Reid is that same type of person. Travis Kelce threw his helmet on the sideline. You see him nah, he don't need his helmet real quick. He walked over to Travis Kelce and he was talking to him and he nudged him like, bro, what you, man? I like that. Don't just be standing there like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We going to battle. So that's brownie points. One thing I also like is that he keeping it simple. He's not going out there trying to reinvent the wheel. He's like, we're going to run the football. I know defense. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make my identity on this team defense. We're going to start there. Why would I shy away from a defensive coordinator that's already been in the building and is already running stuff. That was a huge move on his part as well, because
Right.
there was reports coming out saying that Patrick Graham feels like he's freed up to coach the defense the way he wants to. Why would he? What does that even mean? So that means that Josh McDaniels was tying his hands. Does Josh McDaniels have input on the defensive coordinator? Why would you do that if you don't know nothing about defense?
Yeah, right,
I would
right,
have been let Patrick Graham do what Patrick Graham wants to do.
right.
But so I like that. And then also, the moment isn't too big for him. He just is like, press conference, he was like, yeah, we won against Kansas City. That's over. Merry Christmas, whatever. We're on to Indianapolis. And the way he was breaking down, who we're playing, how they're going to be playing, what he's been watching, he's been studying. That's great. Those things are awesome. Those are traits that you want to see out of a rookie head coach. When we talk about, do we need veterans? Well, the reason why I look at veteran stuff is the same. It's not so much about what you can do as far as coaching. It's just knowing certain stuff. So, like, I put
Right.
it to you
That's a
like
good point.
this. Okay,
That's a good point.
you have a rookie quarterback, right? He hasn't played in all these stadiums yet. He hasn't played in the cold yet, right? So it's not that he can't play in the cold, but since he ain't did it yet, he don't know. Okay, before when I come out to Minnesota or now, when I come out to New England and it's frozen, okay, where do they got these little restaurants I can go to? What do I need to bring? What I need to put in my
Right.
bag? I need to wear this. You learn that by going out there in New England and freezing your fucking nuts off. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn, that's only coming with experience. So that type of thing is like, okay, Antonio Pierce, we've seen you be able to lead a team, but I've also seen you not put up a point at all in a game.
Yeah.
And that was because maybe the experience, you just didn't know that you needed your long johns, or you didn't know a restaurant, shit like
Right.
that, little stuff. So you didn't
Right.
know, okay, when this is happening, I need to do this. Play calling, sometimes I can't play off of my sleeve and my heart. I got to play more conservative, smart, or I
Right.
do got to be aggressive at this point. So that comes with time. And I look at it like, okay, you've proven enough that if we give you that time, you won't have too many blunders being 4-3 right now as a head coach.
Yeah. And that's where I kind of might have to play devil's advocate because, like you said, right now the team always wants to play inspired when there's a new coach, especially when there's somebody that they're rooting for. At the end of the day, just because you're a good guy doesn't mean that the Raider, you could be a good people inspirer, but once all that momentum kind of calms itself down and you're not winning games and you're not producing, then your voice kind of gets a little smaller in the locker room. And so that's where hey, if I'm a longtime Raider fan, I'm coming in and I can say I want a coach that I know that could probably come out. You get a coach like Jim Harbaugh or Bill Belichick in there, and they can easily run the course your first 4 games of the season. And you won't think about a coach that was 4-3. Like, yeah, 4-3 is decent, but it's not like the guy's like fucking 5-1 or he's only lost 1 game. Like he's showed, like you just said, time. And I'm playing devil's advocate on this one for Raider fan who doesn't want to wait. I mean, Raider fans have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and so the last thing they want to do is go and get some inexperienced ass coach who doesn't have the resume, or like you said, he gets into a postseason. Do you know what to do in certain situations? So I look at a guy, Jim Harbaugh. He comes in, he automatically is going to hire his own coaches. These guys that he fucking hires are likely going to have more experience than Antonio Pierce. These guys are going to know what to do, and he's going to hold them to the highest standard. And so, hey, I could easily say, I want that guy, but at the end of the day, Harbaugh is a guy that he's in and out a lot. It seems like he likes to stay somewhere for 4 or 5 years, and then he overdoes his welcome. And the next thing you know, he's looking for a new job. So, do you want somebody that's like that type of person, or do you want somebody that's built from within who can learn and you can put good assets around him? Because that's ultimately what I think you guys got here. You guys got a very, very good leader, and if you can put assets around him to help him grow as a head coach, get him an experienced offensive coordinator. Make sure that your special teams and everything, all that shit is wrapped up so that all he has to do is go out there, inspire those men, and then and call good game plans. Because like me, I'm a fucking Niner fan, and right now we got Kyle Shanahan, who we have all the experience in the world, but this guy gets in the fucking big games and his asshole gets tight, and that's still the person you are. Either you're gonna be scared to call this play, you're gonna be scared to deviate from your original game plan, or you're gonna stick to that. And sometimes that's you as a man. And what I've seen in Antonio Pierce, and I'll give this to new, Raider fan that wants, to try something new with Antonio. He showed in Kansas City, man, he's not going to deviate from his plan. And he went out there and took it. And an inexperienced coach could have easily just went in there and said, you know what? Kansas City's going to stop what I'm going to do. Guaranteed. So let me try to outthink myself. Let me try to call him. And he didn't. You can tell that he didn't. He stuck to his game plan and said, I'm going to do what got me here. So, like I said, I would give Antonio Pierce a chance because right now he has a locker room, and ultimately it's the players that are going to be playing, and I would put good pieces around him. But I cannot be mad for Raider fans that are saying, I want a coach who's going to come in with the game plan from game. He's going to know what the fuck to do with this team. So, it is a huge decision for the Raiders right now coming up, man. And I cannot wait to see what they're going to do because you guys got some awesome coaches out there to choose for candidates.
Exactly. I did want to touch on that. So, like you said, the names Harbaugh, Bieniemy, and Belichick. Those are names getting thrown out there. Belichick, I just feel like we got rid of the Patriots way. Why hustle backwards? You know what I'm saying? That's just. If he was able to do what he needed to do, he could have did it with the New England Patriots. He had. We clearly see that was Tom Brady.
Right.
So he's getting old too. You're done. You're done. It's time for you to hang it up, go spend your money and go drink it off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But Eric Bieniemy, the only reason why I'm not too sold because as a coordinator, he's great. Wasn't he with KC? Wasn't he under Andy Reid out there in KC?
And look at KC right now, cousin. Maybe he was the reason.
Exactly. So I see that. That's coordinator status. You feel me? When you come be a head coach, it's a whole different situation. Now you got to trust in other coordinators. You don't just get to focus on that job. So I look at it like, okay, well, if we're gonna give somebody a chance, we might as well give AP a chance. Because that's not fair to say, okay, well, Eric is better when he's been in the NFL, but he ain't just been a head coach winning. So he would be a rookie head coach as well. Am I tripping? Has he been a head coach for any other team?
You're 100%.
So I'm not trying to say that, but then he's a rookie head coach. You still got to bring in your whole regime. It'll be the same difference. Now, you look at it money-wise. Antonio Pierce, not saying you should shaft him, but he might not be looking at a big dollar like Jim Harbaugh going to be looking because he's coming in like, I'm me.
Right.
Bill Belichick, I'm me. Even Eric, okay, you seen what I did with Kansas City? I'm me. Antonio Pierce is a Raider. So he damn near just happy to be there. So not saying that you don't got to compensate him, but you ain't got to overcompensate him. Right. You know what I'm saying? He'll bring in his regime. Like I was telling you, I'm just looking at the shit. I don't care what nobody say. Marvin Lewis went out there and got him a sweater from the pro shop. He been sitting in that skybox at the Raider games.
Why I didn't add him, cousin. Tell me what you told. Tell the fans what you told me because I didn't know that. I was very interested.
I've been seeing Marvin Lewis, man. He been looking like a Raider fan. He been loving Vegas. He been at all the Raider games. And one thing about Marvin Lewis is that I'm not even sure if he's looking for no head coaching shit. He just, looking to get a job. Brother is at our game, so he obviously ain't got no job. So he's an offensive in that from 2003 to about 2007, 2008. The Bengals offense was no slouches, bro. Ocho was out there. Cedric Benson. You feel me? TJ Houshmandzadeh. Even when T.O. was out there. You know what I'm saying? So let's not act like he couldn't put an offense together. His defense was nice. Even though he was out there getting what is it? What's my man's name that was out there trying to kill people? Burfict. He had Burfict out there trying to kill people. But he had to. You talking about a man that couldn't win
Montez
against the
Burfict. I
Steelers and the
heard about
Ravens
Montez.
at the highest of their height. Come on, man.
That's true.
He had to go against Palomalu and them. He had to go against Joe Flacco and them. Come on, bruh, with the Ray Lewises and the Suggses, and it was, bruh, it's hard, bro. It's hard.
That
So,
is true.
not saying he can't be no offensive coordinator. He looks like he's in Antonio Pierce's ear. My whole thing is Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham deserves to be a head coach somewhere. And you know he's going to get out there, and let's just keep it honest with you. He's going to get the most interviews out of anybody because of the Rooney Rule. And I'm not knocking the Rooney Rule. I understand, we want to get black people in there. But sometimes it's like, don't just hire or just – I want Patrick Graham to get hired into a situation to where he's going to thrive. If not, you might as well stay with the Raiders. You already was a defensive coordinator. Why would you I'm not saying that you don't gotta humble. It's not a humble yourself, but you was willing to work under Josh McDaniels, and you're not willing to work with with Antonio Pierce. That's letting you basically run your team.
Right.
Antonio Pierce. If you can get Marvin Lewis to be your offensive coordinator and Patrick Graham to be your defensive coordinator, and you run that team, you have something in the AFC West. Denver's done. Denver, they starting Jarrett Stidham. We've seen what we did with KC. And the Chargers fired their coach too. So we kind of up in the air right now with the AFC West, and I just feel like why shake it up, man? We should stick with Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, man. I kind of agree with you on that part, and that kind of piggybacks onto my point on putting good pieces around him. You go and put an offensive genius like Marvin Lewis around him, and that's the experience. You got to think like Antonio's going to want to have somebody to ask these questions to ask somebody what the perfect person, and maybe Antonio mentally is the person that Marvin Lewis couldn't be, because sometimes it takes a coach to have some fucking cojones and step up and be like, you know what? I'm not going to be scared in here. I'm going to call this play. So Marvin Lewis can just sit back, like you said, do his job on the offensive coordinator end, and let Antonio Pierce lead, man. He's new, he's modern. He understands what these players, these newer generation players are like. He just came from being a fucking a recruiter at Arizona State. And I had personal conversations with Antonio Pierce, not to try to be like, a celebrity name drop or anything like that.
True.
My son was getting recruited in college, and we had long conversations on Twitter with me and Antonio Pierce, and he's a class act, so he understands the recruiting aspect. He understands how these new generation players have to somewhat be comforted and how you have to talk to them. These old school guys may not understand. And that may be the disconnect, man. And I'm telling you, that's why he has these players in the locker room, because and not only that, he was a fucking player himself. So it's different, man, when you got a guy who was in the trenches himself. And not only was he in the trench, he was a hog. Like Antonio Pierce can go pull up he can say something and then go pull up his tape and be like, dude, like, if you ain't fucking giving it 110% like I was, bro, I don't want you. So I'm saying, man, he's young, he's exciting. And I feel like now the Raiders, it's almost time like the Raiders need to come out and announce it. I mean, I know you want people to earn it and this and that, but there's a couple games left in the season. How big would it be if we can get that, a reaction out of that, and see that in the Raiders locker room where Mark Davis comes out and says, I'm going to remove the interim tag and I'm going to put you as the head coach. And Antonio Pierce can go into the offseason and put his staff together instead of getting in the end of the season and having to deal with, all these weird ass questions and the unknown, and then, he's trying to figure it out. So I think he's deserved it, man. I mean, you can put like you said, you can put somebody else in there. That is going to come with a hefty price tag. I'm sorry. Jim Harbaugh he's going to want full control. So you got to think about that. Antonio said something the other day. I want a place to where the people in the building enjoy coming to work.
Yes.
That is a big thing with some of these coaches, especially coaches like Harbaugh. Like, they are strict. Like, I don't want this person around. They'll even tell you, I don't want the owners coming into certain meetings. You gotta understand, these fucking owners are the ones who paying you. Even though that may be the right thing, Nobody wants to hear that. So you have to understand how to be an overall good coach. That's why Jim Harbaugh left the 49ers. He couldn't get along with our owner, Jed York. And Jed York was like, motherfucker, I pay your checks. Goodbye. I don't care how good of a coach you are. I will just have somebody in here that I have a better relationship with. I'm cutting your checks. You're going to be cool with me. And Jim Harbaugh didn't want to talk to ownership. He was like, this is my way. And he was a dick. I heard behind the scenes, Jim was a dick and he ran a tight ship. So you have to understand that. And that falls off to the players. The players feel that. But at the end of the day, those kind of guys, they sometimes they get the best out of you because when you fucking come to work, it ain't no slacking around, man. You don't do your job, they're gonna know. So it's what you guys want. But I think right now, man, the momentum, the energy, the fans, but that could, like you said, and I'm gonna pass it to you, cousin. That could be an emotional response. So you have to be careful with that. Being emotional and being correct.
I kind of like when it comes to the fans, that's our job. When it comes to the players, I need them to be emotionally invested because they play the game. Antonio Pierce, one thing that you said that I didn't even address, he's a scouter. So one thing about the coordinators, they're X's and O's guys. They don't really even want to talk to you as a player.
Right.
They want to implement the offense, implement the defense, and they want the general manager and the head coach to bring in the players. This is what I want to run. Go find me people to run this.
Right.
So the fact that if he can sit back and just do what he's used to doing, like you said, bringing in people, like he brought in Jack Jones, like he's making these people wanting to play for him and stuff. That's great. You bring them people in, you and what's my man? The general manager right now. Damn, I forgot his name. Champ Kelly. You and Champ Kelly? That's not his name.
No, I think something Kelly.
It's something Kelly.
Yeah.
No, Chip Kelly was it is Champ Kelly.
Oh, you're talking about Chip Kelly. Yeah.
I didn't want to cut because Chip Kelly a bitch. But anyway,
you
a racist ass nigga. I don't fuck with Chip Kelly. Fuck you.
I can't stand his ass. That was some of the worst years of Niner years. Bro, I fucking remember that year a lot, bro. I remember literally not watching half of my games. And I'm a type of dude, I don't miss games. I'm there at the beginning. I literally could not watch. I couldn't watch it. It was that bad.
That's fucked up.
And the players just fucking took. That's why I'm saying it's important that you fucking have your players back because those players, dude, they didn't give.
They don't fuck with you. They was not messing with Chip out there.
And he out there throwing the ball 1,000 times a game. I'm like, Chip.
That was your coach.
Bruh. Take your ass to UCLA.
Hey, but
isn't he still at UCLA?
Got bounced like a super bouncy ball.
Man, he's doing good in college. Stay your ass at UCLA, please.
Yeah, go to college where they don't care how you talk to them. They just trying to get opportunity. You can't come and talk to some millionaires like that. Calm down.
And you this tall.
You did exactly. When you the only millionaire in the room and changing stuff. But anyway, I forget him. Him and Champ Kelly and Antonio Pierce, they can bring in talent. They bring in talent and let Patrick Graham and whoever comes on the office, Bo Hardegrave, thank you for your services right now, but you're out of here.
That's messed up.
It is cool though. Get you somebody so you can go be somebody else's offensive coordinator somewhere else. But you're out of here, guy.
You ain't gotta go home, cousin. You ain't gotta go home.
Hey, you ain't gotta go home. I would because I would keep it silent, but you gotta
get the help.
Pierce took the blunt of that 0 points. But you the offensive coordinator, nigga. And last week we didn't complete a pass all for 3 quarters. So look. We can sit up here and be like, Antonio Pierce's defensive guy. He's looking at Bo Hardegrave.
I'm gonna get you now, cousin. It's so funny how things can change though, because I feel like that was after that week where he didn't score. if he would have come and laid another egg, Antonio Pierce might not even be a part of this conversation because he had a lot of momentum to start, and then you guys lost a few, and then that egg, and you were pissed. You were pissed about laying that egg. And then he comes out the following week and scores. I thought y'all was gonna score 100.
100. Hey, cousin, he pulled that nigga to the side like Cool Runnings. He was like, "You got pride. You got power. You a bad motherfucker that don't take no shit from nobody." Like he made that nigga say that shit in the mirror, like,
Hey,
bro, I don't want to put my hands on you, but if you lose me this job, I'm gonna beat your ass. And that's just, it's okay though. It's okay. You're gonna have to take this ass whooping. But no, one thing I do think is that if we get to the playoffs, hey, you gotta take that interim off and let Antonio Pierce go into the playoffs with that clear mind.
Yeah, you got to. You got
So
to.
he ain't sitting up there, maybe I gotta do perfect on it. Bro, you get me to the playoffs, you got the job for next year. It's cool. Let's go. Because you fucked up and Rich Bisaccia did that shit and then you fired him after he got into the playoffs. What kind of shit is that?
And that's in a season where you lose your starting your original head coach and you lose your original quarterback that you went into. Remember, this was Josh McDaniels and Jimmy Garoppolo's team. Yeah. It was Antonio Pierce who had enough balls to say, basically, even to the owners, like, I don't care how much you guys paid him. I don't care if he's the number one guy. This guy should be the starter, not him. So, Jimmy, you going to sit your injury. We're not about to keep playing it because he's seen it. And I'm so glad he's seen it. He's seen it like nobody's business. You're going to be a person that's going to get me happy, and then you're going to get hurt. So what I would rather do, I would rather have a guy that I know that can get into the fire, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo. He'll get you nice and excited. He'll complete some pass, get your offense going, and then the second something happens, somebody breathes on him the wrong way, the fucker gets hurt. So I don't got time for it. And history is going to keep repeating. So he just found out, killed that, and I love it. He did it so quick. He was like, you know what? Like it was almost eating him as an assistant as he was watching Josh McDaniels screw that organization over. He was watching that like, dude, this was, when I became head coach, this was the first thing that I was going to
do. Hey, because that nigga Jimmy Garoppolo is made out of cardboard, cousin. He was just, that boy, I don't know what, bro. I don't know if he needed to drink some milk and get his bones right. He wasn't watching the commercials. I don't know, but
he's just trying to get that money because I'm telling you, he just wants to collect the bag, bro. He wants to show up to work, and technically, hey, I can collect that check because but I'm not gonna try to do the extra to pull from my team. I'm not gonna try, and I know I'm not gonna say I know it all because I'm not gonna say Jimmy Garoppolo has never played injured because I mean, but goddamn, dude, it just seems like, man, every single time, bro, you just can't just tough it out. It's just like I gotta be hurt. So, what good are you if you can't be there? So I like that. And yeah, I do like the fact that, you know, one other thing, it showed a lot to me the fact that when you guys lost and didn't put up anything, and then the next week you guys go and put up, because you got to think, and I talked to you about this, you go home after that, you have to figure that out. You have to figure that out. And you have all this pressure on you. Like, if I don't score again, or this game plan originally that I had, you know, he went, it seemed like he just went and scrapped. He did something. And he was like, this is going to be our identity. I'm not going to make that mistake. He chalked that up as a loss. That was a game, whatever. And then he comes back and puts up 65. I mean, you almost got to look at that as like, dude, that almost shows me even more if you really, really think about that, because all coaches are going to lose, but his bounce back game was so cold. And then it just seemed like after that, it was like, he was like, okay, this is it. I'm not going to, this is who we are. I tried to, get a little cute with it, and that ain't me. He's stuck with hard-nosed Raiders football. We're going to run. We're going to use that fucking excellent defense that you guys have, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. And you guys are playing good ball right now, man.
Hell yeah, and I got to tip my hat because he took it on Sunday night, and then we went and put up that 63 on Thursday. Short week.
Wow.
He didn't even implement nothing. He just went in there And you got pride.
I know. You don't even got
And
enough
started
time.
shaking people's shit up. Like, bruh, I'm going to fight y'all. Because there was no, I mean,
That's
what,
true.
Sunday? Well, you may have had practice Tuesday.
Yep.
I mean, because I don't know if you even took it. You might have had Monday practice, Tuesday. You got a game in Chicago.
No, yeah, they said on those Thursday
Chicago,
those Thursday games,
in
they
LA.
usually only get like one practice and then a walkthrough when they have those Thursday games, and then because they had to have a day for healing. So yeah, dude, that's a very good.
That was
point,
a hell of a
dude.
Thursday
So
night
game. That was all inspirational, bro. That was like fucking. He grabbed everybody by the fucking nuts and was like, guys, we are not this. I'm not gonna let this shit happen. This is my one opportunity, and I'm not gonna fuck this up.
I can't let you fuck this up.
Right. My dog, man. He is bothering me. He is right. If you guys can see it, and that's what's going on. And I give him the ball, and then he just sits right by me and chews on it where I can hear it all in the video. So now I'm grabbing it, and he's just sitting there looking at me like, throw it, daddy, throw it.
Just throw that shit. It's good.
But yeah, man. So as far as Bieniemy, I know we really didn't hit on him too much. We'll kind of touch him up real quick before we head off. Hey, I think, as much as we want to say Kansas City is missing him, all those same supporters, we can look at Washington and be like, well, why do they suck? Because he took the same job with Washington. He is the offensive coordinator for Washington, and they are about to fire Ron Rivera and every single person on that staff. So either Ron Rivera maybe runs a super tight ship and he doesn't allow Eric Bieniemy to call, as much as Andy Reid was doing. But I do think there is something to his offense. But when we talk about people's coach, he is somebody that I've heard multiple times around the league that players just do not like him. I mean, when they talk about a coach riding you, they say that fucking dude is so hard on you that players just literally don't want to play for him. And so I think it was LaShawn McCoy was the first person who kind of came out. Shady was the one that said it and came out and said that the dude basically ruined his career because he was just so tough on him. And you can go look up some YouTube videos on it. There's a lot of players that just flat out say they don't want to play for Bieniemy. But then there was a couple players that came out and said that they supported him and said that he just expects the best out of his players. Patrick Mahomes was one of those guys that supported him. But who knows if that's just a quarterback trying to get his assistant coach a head coaching job. So, and there were some other players. So, like I said, I don't know if that's just that new generation shit. From what I heard, it sounds like is when they're in practice and they drop a ball, he fucking gets all over you. Like he just breathes on you. Everything has to be perfect, And so, hey, some people want that punctual coach. But what I do know about him is he has a great, and everybody will say this about him. His offense he's an offensive genius. But that goes back to having that you're good at coaching, you're good at all, you're an offensive genius, but are you good at being a leader of men? And so, I don't know. That is Eric Bieniemy.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know his personality like that, but I do know that under Andy Reid, he was putting out some great offense. And I look at it like this, man. Everybody not gonna like you. Everybody not gonna like your style, but also that's a testament to Andy Reid. You're not gonna get at me like that, so you gonna kind of taper it down a little bit, and I'm gonna run the players, and you run my offense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that if he's able to go to an organization, and I know Shady was talking about when Shady played in Kansas City. I'm not knocking that.
Yeah.
But hey, man. Players say that about a lot of players. Look, most of the players I generally hear start coming at their offensive coordinator shit is when they ain't got nothing else to do because you ain't on the field. So you doing these podcasts and shit and wanting to blame niggas when the same players you was playing with won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I mean, are we trying to win friendships? Or are we trying to win Super Bowls? You know what I'm saying? True. Like I'm not completely knocking him and saying that he wasn't like that, but was it he's on you? Like, because at the end of the day, if you don't do exactly what I'm saying, it's a timing thing with
Right.
football too.
Right.
Then it's not gonna work. And especially his offense, he's blowing you off the top with Tyreek, and then Patrick Mahomes got everything under all those under routes with Travis Kelce and his receivers. So since you ain't got Tyreek to blow shit off the top, it is kind of seeming like, well, maybe you're not this guru no more. But that Tyreek Hill is a fucking one of one. My nigga, Tyreek Hill was doing a lot of that shit and catching a lot of those balls too that Patrick Mahomes was just flinging to the side like this and shit.
Yeah.
So that's that's so people got to understand that too. So he went and got his job out there in Washington, and once again, that's why I don't want Patrick Graham to just go get a job, because nigga, don't go get that Washington job. That's a bad situation. I would have liked Eric to sit up there and get your resume right until you knew you was going to be a head coach or at least a high profile offensive coordinator with a team that made sense, instead of just going to get the money. But I can't tell somebody not to go get no money. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you to go do your opportunity because I don't know what the universe got for you.
Right.
But just from the outside looking in, I don't know you like that. I've never, I guess I like other players, they can speak on you like that. But what I can say is I see you two times a year for about 4 or 5 years, and y'all was busting our ass. So I can't knock that, you know. I can't knock that.
Right. And maybe Mark Davis sees that he sees that too. He's like, shit, man, I remember when playing Kansas City, man, play them 2 times a year, and that was a key offense. So maybe he sees that, you know. But like I said, man, all 3 of these guys are good candidates, and just the fact that we're talking about the Raiders getting competent head coaches where the owner isn't gonna get in the way, he's trying to let these guys come in there, and so you can't do nothing but respect it, in my opinion. I guess we can make our predictions. I think that the Raiders are ultimately going to pick Antonio Pierce from what he has done lately. And, you know, I don't know what that means for the players. You know, Devontae Adams, he's getting later in his career. Maybe he doesn't want to kind of maybe wait. And he's like, you know, get me out of here or whatever, you know, or hopefully he likes what's going on and sees that the Raiders got him as an asset to start to build for the future. Because like you were saying, bro, that's what they're trying to do. They're really not trying to do a rebuild. They got a good defense, which your defense has proved all year long. That y'all got a solid defense, and you guys are only a quarterback and I thought some leadership away. And here's the leadership, and then you get this guy and who is a recruiting fucking guru. You have to understand. You give him this job right now, he's gonna hit the ground running with his recruiting. And so he's going to be able to be a great talent evaluator for your future quarterback. You have to think about that. Like, that's a huge part, is development and talent evaluating. And so, I mean, I don't know if the Raiders are willing to, are in a position to really be getting rid of people like that who bring that to the table. So I think they're going to keep AP, and that's kind of my pick, man, before we head out of here.
Man, I'm with you. I think they're gonna keep him, man, because it makes sense, and we got a lot more to deal with than really trying to figure out if you want to let him run this or not. He's proven that he can run the team. He's proven he can do that. We got to worry about our running back situation because we're not going to have Josh Jacobs next year. Let's just be real. Josh Jacobs doesn't want to get franchise tag. And I mean, I'm not going to pay Josh Jacobs 10. Well, not, I'm not. I don't think we should. The Raiders should pay Josh Jacobs $10 million a year. When we just seen what Zamir White can do, when we need to get when we need another quarterback. I don't think Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback of the future. I think he's a rookie. He needs to sit behind somebody for a little bit. And we also need to solidify our offensive line, and we need to get some pieces. And we can do that with $10 million. So I'm sorry, Josh. And the thing is, we franchise tag Josh, that's going to be around $15 million because he already got to 10.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to 11. He going to want around like 12 to 13, but he wants long term. So you talking about 12 to 13 for what, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, that's
and we just seen Zamir White, he gave him opportunity. Injuries do that. Don't get injured, bud. You've been gone for 2 weeks, and Zamir been going crazy. When we put up to 63, Josh didn't even play. That was Zamir White and Abdullah.
Damn. Yeah,
you know,
that's
and
wild.
I'm not knocking Josh. I'm not saying he's not a good talent, but he's going to have to take a team friendly, which he's not. I guess you could say he deserved not to, but circumstance. You know, we got a lot more to pay for, bro. We can't do that. We done already paid Devontae. We paid a lot of offensive linemen. We gave Max some money. I'm sorry, man. It just. And the thing is that we can get your production. That's the whole thing. It's not even we can get your same production
For
because
a running
running backs.
back, yes.
Unfortunately, if you're not a Christian McCaffrey where you're the bell cow, bro, it's bad.
And I hate it because it's
go get you a bag though. You're just gonna have to go to it. You're gonna have to go to a Washington, or you're gonna have to go to a Houston and go help out CJ Stroud. You know,
that's real, man. And I hate that because I want these running backs to get paid, and it's almost feeding into that narrative by not giving them his money. You think about $10 million, like running backs are super important, and $10 million when you think about the whole totality, it doesn't seem like it's that much, but the way that there's just so many running backs and it's basically built. Running backs are kind of made nowadays off how your offensive line is built. So if you have a decent offensive line, man, you got guys who have been running their whole entire life. So I mean, these guys know it's just an easier position. It sucks that they're not getting paid. And I hope that the player union can figure that out to where they can get decent contracts. But with that being said, guys, man, it's crazy now that we've been in here 41 minutes. We got the most people. Thank you guys for coming in. That's been in here. What do you guys think, man? Please drop in the comment section what you guys think. I think the Raiders are going to stick to Antonio Pierce, but we have Jim Harbaugh, Eric Bieniemy, and Bill Belichick as potential replacements. Please let us know in the comment section what you think. Some Raider fans do not want to wait. They want to get this show on the road. They want to get a coaching staff in here that knows A, B, and Z. And hey, but they may not know the players. They may not know how to coach people from within. You got a guy like Antonio Pierce who's been there, who's been around the Raiders organization, who's seen everything that has happened. And so we got a guy that and that's a great people's person and that's a great recruiter and talent evaluator. And he's a fucking great coach. I mean, well, let's stop trying to what has he shown that's any different than any coach that we go out there and watch every Sunday? Why do we almost because he's, I don't know if it's just because he's a black coach and he just, he was a former defensive guy. And sometimes those defensive guys have that mentality of just, you don't really know X's and O's. You're just a ha, 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 beat your head on stuff. But I mean, when you really look at it, I mean, the fuck. I don't know too many coaches that have put up 65 points. I don't. And he has a lights out defense. He does the job that coaches need to do. And that's lead the players play, man. Coaches just coach and try to put the players in the best place. So, cousin, I'm gonna let you go ahead and end this out on us, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I said, congratulations to AP, man. Congratulations to my Raiders, man. We 2-0. We trying to get it, man. We trying to get into these playoffs. We gotta do what we gotta do, and that's finish out. We got Indy this week. So, hey, man, one step at a time, man. We out here stubbing toes, We out here making it hard on people to get in the playoffs, baby. So, hey, shout out to my team, man, and whatever decisions we make, bro, we just need to take it in stride like we always do, man. So let's get it.
That's right. That's right. Once again, y'all, before we get out, make sure that you guys comment, like, subscribe. Please, guys, we're gonna be back. Try our hardest to be back tomorrow. We're trying to get this going. Again, in our next conversation will be Kyle Shanahan. I think that Kyle Shanahan is running scared lately. And so we're going to talk about that. And if he can win big games, in my opinion, he's been having a very hard time winning big games. And ultimately, it does not matter how good of a coach you are. If you cannot win big games or you come into a game scared, going away from your game plan, that is, in my opinion, are traits of a bad coach or at least a coach that can't win the big one. So that will be our next conversation, guys. We love you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to come in here and chop it up with us. And we did it again, cousin. 45 minutes, cousin. We did that shit, man. Great conversation.
Rocked it out.
Great talking to you, brother.
You too, bro.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. Yay!